Give me that envelope.
Take your hand off it.
You don't command me here. It belongs to my daughter.
What's happening?
He's threatening me. Everyone saw who reached first. Let go!
Step back! She hit him!
She hit him! Ma'am, move away! He grabbed me! No! I stopped you!
Enough. Everyone stay seated.
Remove him.
On what grounds, sir?
He attacked me. That's not what happened. Nobody asked you.
Officer, did you see me touch her?
No.
Take him now.
Phone, now.
State the offense.
You disrupted my event.
This is a private dinner.
He planned this. Sir, we need a legal basis.
I am the basis.
That answer is being recorded.
Open the sealed archive.
Confirm release?
Release everything. End that call.
Too late. What did he send?
Chief, step back.
Take the phone.
I got a state alert active.
Preservation order active.
Dad, what is this?
Put those phones away. State investigators requested your location.
Why is my company listed?
Give me that phone. Fold it. You really.
Do not alter anything. State investigators entering now.
The glass stopped halfway to the table when Lauren Vale's palm struck Elias Grant across the face. The dining room went silent. Why did the police chief's daughter believe no one would challenge her? Why did two uniformed officers move toward the quiet black man instead of the woman who hit him? Elias touched the old silver watch in his pocket, looked at the chief seated across the room, and made one call. Minutes later, phones began vibrating, a hidden account surfaced, and the chief's smile disappeared. But the most dangerous secret was not in the restaurant. It was buried inside the city's own records. Stay until the end to see what that call uncovered. The first phone vibrated near the end of the table, then another, then 12 more. The sound moved through the dining room like rain on metal. Elias Grant kept one hand beside the overturned glass. Cold water had reached his cuff, but he did not move. Across from him, Lauren Vale stood with her palm still open. "Take his phone," Police Chief Martin Vale said. Officer Caleb Rowan stopped 2 steps short. "On what grounds, sir?" "Interference with an official event." "This is a private dinner," Elias said. Lauren pointed at him. "He threatened me. You took my envelope. You grabbed me. I stopped you from opening property that wasn't yours." Officer Melanie Hart looked from Lauren's untouched wrist to the napkin sliding from the table. A server lowered his tray until the glasses stopped chiming. Martin held out his hand. "Phone. Now." Elias checked the screen. Beneath Naomi Reed's name, one line remained. Archive released. He turned the phone face down. "You may secure it as evidence," he said, "after you identify the offense and record the seizure." Lauren laughed. "He thinks he's in charge." A cube of ice cracked inside the fallen tumbler. Martin stepped closer. "Cooperate, Mr. Grant, or my officers can continue this somewhere less comfortable." Elias touched the scratched silver watch in his pocket. Its chain had tangled around the sealed envelope. He freed it before standing. "I am cooperating," he said. "I'm also listening." "To what?" Elias looked toward Martin's jacket. The chief's phone was vibrating. Martin ignored it twice. On the third pulse, Council Chairman Silas Kent checked his screen and went pale. "Marty," Kent whispered. "Not now. You need to see this." Martin pulled out the phone. Blue light flattened his face. A notice from the State Office of Public Integrity sat above 3 missed calls. External audit package received. Preservation order active. Do not alter municipal records. For the first time that evening, Martin did not know where to place his hands. Hart's radio clicked. Static hissed, followed by a dispatcher. "Units at Bellwether House, maintain positions. State investigators request Chief Vale's location." Leather chairs creaked. Silverware touched china. Someone whispered, "State investigators?" Lauren looked around. "This is ridiculous. He arranged this." Martin lowered his phone. "What did you send?" Elias folded his wet cuff and placed the silver watch on the tablecloth. The second hand had stopped at 8:17. I made sure something could no longer disappear. Martin's expression changed. Not confusion, but recognition. Elias saw it. So did Rowan. The officer looked toward the chief instead of the man he had been ordered to remove. Martin recovered. Secure him. Secure the device. Nobody leaves. You can't detain an entire restaurant, Hart said. I gave you an order. And I asked for a legal basis. Lauren stared at her father. Why are they calling you? His phone vibrated again. The caller identification showed a name Martin had not seen in 20 years. Miriam Grant Archive. His thumb hovered above the screen, but he did not answer. Elias looked at the stopped watch between them. 6 hours earlier, it had still been ticking. At 2:11 that afternoon, Elias parked beneath a sycamore whose leaves had turned rust red. Across the street, the Miriam Grant Community Center stood behind chained glass doors. Wind pushed leaves along the steps. A loose gutter tapped the brick. His phone lit up. Amara. Are we still meeting at 9? He wrote, I'll be there before 9. I have something Grandma left for you. 3 dots appeared, vanished, then returned. Amara. You said that after Mom's memorial. Elias opened the glove compartment and removed a cream envelope. Miriam Grant had written Amara's name across it 13 years earlier. The phone rang. Naomi Reed's voice came through low and precise. The dinner is still on. Vale added 2 contractors. Any change in the archive? 1 deletion attempt at 11:43. We blocked it. From where? An account tied to the chief's office. Then they know someone is close. Let security drive you. No, if I arrive with an escort, Vale performs for me. And Amara. I'm meeting her afterward. You said that last time. He lowered his eyes to the envelope. I'm reminding you what the clock costs, Naomi said. Elias took out Miriam's scratched silver pocket watch. The second hand moved, caught, then moved again. At 8:45, if I haven't checked in, call. And if you use the phrase, release everything. Even the material naming Lauren Vale? Everything. He crossed the street. The padlock was cold. He pictured folding chairs, humming lights, and his mother carrying a mop bucket in one hand and tax forms in the other. A gray-bearded man came around the gate. Building's closed, sir. I know. The man studied him. You're Miriam's boy. Elias smiled. I'm 52, Mr. Bell. You're still Miriam's boy. Thomas Bell, 66, had repaired the center's boilers for years. He pointed toward a notice inside the glass. They say redevelopment starts next month. Who says? Chief's daughter. Her firm posted it yesterday. Beneath a drawing of luxury offices appeared the name Vale Civic Strategies. This property belongs to the Neighborhood Trust, Elias said. Not according to the new filing. 2 officers came with her, told me not to make trouble. Elias photographed the notice and sent it to Naomi. Add this to scope. Thomas watched him pocket the phone. You going to stop them? I'm going to ask them to explain it in public. That ever work? Sometimes the explanation becomes evidence. At 2:36, Amara called. My screening may run late, she said. I can wait. You don't wait. You reschedule people. The gutter tapped again. I deserved that. She said nothing. I'll be here before 9. No assistant, no driver. Just me. What's in the envelope? Something your grandmother wanted you to read when you were ready. And who decides I'm ready? You do. Her breath caught softly. 9 o'clock. 9. If you're late, don't call with an excuse. I won't. The line ended. Elias wound the watch until the crown resisted. The second hand crossed 12 and kept moving. He placed the letter inside his jacket and turned toward the car. At the corner, a black sedan slowed. A passenger raised a phone toward him before the sedan pulled away. At 4:18 p.m., Lauren Vale moved a silver fork slightly left. "No," she said. "Again?" Devin Clark lifted the place card. "The spacing matches. It looks careless. It's a fork." Lauren raised her eyes. "Tonight, nothing is just a fork." Beeswax and roasted citrus hung in the warm dining room. Devin, 27, slim and quick-handed, held the guest list against his black vest. Hannah Price crossed the room with keys at her waist. At 44, the owner wore her dark hair in a loosening knot. "My staff needs 10 minutes," Hannah said. "They can rest after the donors arrive. They've been here since noon. And my father spent 30 years making this city safe enough for your restaurant." Hannah turned a water glass so its seam faced the wall. Police Chief Martin Vale entered in dress uniform. 59, silver-haired and broad-shouldered, his medals arranged in a perfect row. "Beautiful," he said. Lauren softened. "Board at table 1. Contractors at 2. Counsel by the windows." "And Grant?" "No security detail. No photograph. If Elias Grant appears, tell me before you seat him." "Why?" "Because I said so." She stared at him, then moved the fork back. Council Chairman Silas Kent, 55, arrived early with pipe tobacco on his coat and a one-sided smile. "Marty, ready to announce the center deal." "After dessert." "Title cleared?" "It will be," Lauren said. "Will be isn't cleared." "The Neighborhood Trust missed 2 deadlines," Martin replied. Devin slowed with napkins. Hannah caught his sleeve. "But the center belongs to the trust," he whispered. "Not here. They're taking it. In this room, questions sound like accusations." Martin's phone buzzed. He checked it, placed it face down, and asked for water. Lauren noticed. "Who was it?" "Records Division." "About tonight?" "About nothing you need to manage." Her fingers returned to the silverware. One fork shifted, corrected, then shifted again. At 6:02, Captain Owen Mercer arrived with 2 officers and spoke to Martin beside the coat room. Devin stacked menus behind the partition. "The archive account was accessed again," Mercer said. "By whom?" "We can't tell." "Lock external exports." "We tried. There's a preservation mirror." Martin snapped a cinnamon toothpick beneath the bar. "Find who authorized it." Lauren stepped closer. "What archive?" "Vendor records." "Does this affect my contract?" "No." You hesitated. "I was deciding how little to tell you." For once, she said nothing. By 7, perfume, laughter, and scraping chairs filled the room. Martin worked the tables while Lauren checked the entrance every 30 seconds. At 7:14, Devin found a handwritten addition clipped behind the printed list. Elias Grant, host company principal. He carried it to Hannah. "He isn't an assistant." She read it twice. "Put it with the main list." "Should I tell Lauren?" Before she answered, the front doors opened. Cold air bent the candle flames. A tall black man in a plain navy blazer stepped inside alone, holding a formal invitation. Lauren looked at his clothes, then passed him for the important guest she assumed must be following. "Good evening," Elias said, holding out the invitation. Lauren did not take it. Her gaze moved from his navy blazer to the empty sidewalk behind him. "Drivers use the side entrance." "I'm not a driver." "Then whose party are you with?" "This one." Cold air slipped across the marble before the door shut. Behind the wall, a tray struck a metal rack. Devin stepped forward. "Ms. Vale, I can check the list." "I know the list." "You may want to check it anyway," Elias said. Lauren pinched the card between 2 fingers. "Mr. Grant." "Yes." There must be a seating error. There isn't. Guests brushed past with damp coats and low voices. A woman in red slowed when Lauren pointed toward the corridor beside the kitchen. "The service entrance is through there," Lauren said. "Someone can help you find the correct room." "My table is in the main room." The main room is reserved for sponsors, officials, and invited principals. He tapped the lower corner of the card. "Read the final line." She did not. Devon opened the guest list. His thumb pressed against the folded place card marked Elias Grant, host company principal. Moisture from a pitcher had dampened his skin, leaving a dark oval on the white stock. "He's listed at table 1, Devon said. Lauren turned. "I wasn't asking you." "No, ma'am." Hannah appeared. "Is there a problem?" "A guest is confused," Lauren said. Elias met Hannah's eyes. "Am I?" Hannah saw the invitation, then the card in Devon's hand. The room narrowed around the hiss of candles and the smell of butter. "Mr. Grant is on the principal list," Devon said. Hannah's keys clicked against her hip. "Then seat him." Lauren lowered her voice. "Not before I verify it with my father." "You can verify it while he sits." The woman in red was still watching. So were 2 servers. Neither spoke. Lauren held the invitation against her palm. "This dinner has security protocols." Elias glanced toward the officers. "Do they apply to every guest?" "They apply when necessary." "Necessary for whom?" Martin crossed the room before she answered. His medals caught the amber light. "Lauren?" She handed him the invitation. "He claims table 1. Martin read the name. The ease left his face so quickly that only Elias and Devon seemed to notice. "Mr. Grant," Martin said. "Unexpected. I accepted 3 weeks ago." "Of course. No staff?" "Not tonight." "No attorney?" "I wasn't aware dinner required one." A contractor laughed, then stopped. The chief returned the invitation. "Lauren, seat our guest." "At table 1? That is where his company placed him." Lauren's neck reddened above her collar. Devon led Elias between white-clothed tables. Conversations resumed in uneven bursts. Glasses chimed. Warm air carrying rosemary and coffee moved through the room. At table 1, Elias found his place card face down. Devon righted it. The damp thumbprint remained near the edge. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "For what?" "For almost staying quiet." Elias set his silver watch beside the plate. "Almost is not the same as always." Across the room, Martin was already speaking into Mercer's ear. Lauren stood beside them, staring at Elias's name as if it had appeared where no name was supposed to be. Lauren crossed the dining room before Devon finished pouring water. "That seat is needed," she said. Elias unfolded his napkin. "It has my name on it." "A major contractor has arrived." "Then he should sit where his name is." Her smile tightened. Chairs scraped nearby. Rosemary drifted from the kitchen. A draft clung to Elias's cuff. Lauren lifted the place card. "These are provisional." "Read it." "I can see it." "Then read it aloud." Silas Kent stopped speaking. Hannah stood near the service doors with a coffee pot over a cup. Lauren set the card down. "This evening depends on relationships you may not understand." "I understand. Assigned seating." "You were added late." 3 weeks ago." "Your office confused sponsorship with attendance." "My office owns the principal sponsorship." Behind her, a contractor shifted a leather folder against his stomach. "Mr. Pike, 1 moment," Lauren said. "No rush," he replied. Across the room, Martin's eyes dropped to the surname on the card. "Grant." One hand disappeared beneath the table. A cinnamon toothpick snapped with a dry click. He closed the pieces in his fist. Elias saw it. Officer Rowan did too. Martin leaned toward Captain Mercer. Mercer's gaze moved to Elias, then to the sealed cream envelope beside his plate. Lauren lowered her voice. "You're making this difficult." "No, I'm making it visible. People here spent years building trust." "Trust with whom?" She glanced toward her father. "This city. Cities don't ask people to surrender chairs." Martin approached. "Everything all right?" Lauren answered first. "Mr. Grant refuses to accommodate a scheduling change." Elias turned the card toward him. "Your daughter wants this seat for a contractor." Martin did not look at the contractor. "Lauren, find another arrangement." Her eyes widened. "Father." "Now." She stepped back, then noticed the toothpick in his palm. "You know him." Martin pocketed it. "I know the name." "From where?" "Not here." Elias lifted his water glass. "It may be exactly here." Mercer rested 2 fingers on an empty chair. "Routine security check. Identification, please." Elias reached into his jacket slowly. Nearby faces turned. He placed a driver's license, a business card, and the invitation in a row. Mercer read the card twice. Elias Grant, founder and executive chairman, Grant Meridian Holdings. His thumb paused on the embossed letters. Lauren leaned closer. "That can be printed anywhere." "So can an invitation," Elias said. "Yet you trusted yours." Martin's phone buzzed inside his coat. He ignored it. Mercer handed back the license, but kept the card. "I'll confirm this." "You may confirm it. You may not keep it." Rowan shifted from the wall. "Captain, it isn't evidence." Mercer released it. Elias aligned the card with the invitation and covered the envelope with one hand. The contractor cleared his throat. "I'll sit elsewhere." "No," Lauren said. "This is being handled." He looked at Martin. "Is it?" "Lauren, enough." A slow piano number began nearby. Silverware resumed its soft clatter, but no one at table 1 relaxed. Lauren stared at the envelope. "What's in there?" "Something that does not belong to you." She reached for it anyway. Lauren's fingers closed around the cream envelope. Elias caught the edge before she could lift it. "Let go," she said. "No. It concerns this event. It concerns my daughter." Her eyes moved toward the guests watching. "You expect me to believe that?" "I don't require your belief." The piano stopped after 3 notes. In the kitchen, a pan hissed. Lauren pulled harder. The envelope bent between them. "Release it," Elias said. "You don't give orders in my father's city." Martin rose halfway. "Lauren!" She ignored him. Elias moved the silver watch from the table's edge. Its chain slid over the linen. "Step back." Her face changed. Not fear. Decision. Her palm struck his cheek. The sound was sharp and flat. A candle flame bent in the draft and slowly straightened. For 1 suspended second, the room held nothing else. Then, the metal cover of the watch touched the porcelain plate with a delicate click. Elias kept one hand on the envelope. His head had turned, but his shoulders remained level. He drew one breath and looked at Lauren. She was breathing faster than he was. "Did everyone see that?" Devon asked. No one answered. A man lowered his eyes. The woman in red covered her mouth. Hannah's coffee pot trembled until one dark drop landed on the saucer. Lauren looked around. "He grabbed me." "No," Devon said. Hannah caught his sleeve. "Devon." "He didn't." Martin crossed the room. "Enough." Elias turned the envelope over. One corner had split, revealing Miriam's handwriting. Amara. Lauren saw it and looked away. "Chief," Elias said, "your daughter struck me in front of witnesses." "You provoked her." "I protected a letter." She felt threatened. "By paper?" Martin's jaw tightened. By your conduct. Officer Rowan stepped closer, his eyes on Lauren's untouched wrist. Officer Hart asked, "Ma'am, are you hurt?" "I need him removed." "That wasn't my question." "No." Martin lowered his voice. "Melanie." Hannah set down the pot. "My cameras recorded everything." Captain Mercer emerged beside the coat room. "Then secure the footage." "From whom?" Hannah asked. "For the investigation." Devon's hand moved toward his pocket. Elias noticed a tiny red light. The waiter had started recording. Lauren pointed at Elias. "He came here to humiliate us." "I came for dinner." "You planned this." "I planned to meet my daughter at 9. His watch showed 8:06. Martin followed his glance. "You can leave after we establish what happened." "What happened is standing beside you." "Do not test me." Elias closed the watch cover. Its faint ticking pressed against his palm. "I'm not testing you, Chief Vale." "Then cooperate." Two officers moved closer. Chairs shifted back to make room, but no guest stood. Elias slipped the torn envelope inside his jacket. "Am I being detained?" Martin looked at the silent tables. "You're being removed from a private event." "This is my company's event." "Not anymore." Rowan's brow tightened. Hart's hand remained near her radio. Elias looked once at Devon, then at Hannah, then at every face turned toward the tablecloth. Martin pointed toward the service corridor. "Take him through the back." The kitchen door swung inward, releasing heat and the bitter smell of burned sugar. "This way," Captain Mercer said. Elias waited until Officer Hart stepped left and Rowan right. "Am I under arrest?" "No," Mercer said. "Then I'll use the front entrance." Martin's voice came from behind them. "Take him through the back." A dishwasher stopped stacking plates. 3 cooks watched without speaking. The piano resumed in the dining room, muffled by the door, as though the evening had continued without him. Hart held out her hand. "Your phone." "For what purpose?" "Temporary security hold." "There is no such thing." Mercer stepped closer. "Don't make this harder." Elias removed the phone, but kept it in his palm. "Record the seizure." Hart activated her body camera. "Device collected at 8:09 p.m., she said. "Owner objects." "Owner requests a receipt," Elias added. Mercer took the phone before she answered. Devon appeared holding Elias's invitation, license, and business card. "These belong to him." Martin blocked the opening. "Put them back." "He asked for identification," Devon said. "You got it. Return to work." The damp thumbprint still marked the place card. "Give them to Officer Hart," Elias said. Martin turned. "You don't direct my staff." "No, I'm identifying a chain of custody problem." Hannah reached the doorway, carrying the torn envelope corner. Miriam's handwriting showed one word: Amara. "Please bring it to me," Elias said. Martin took it, read the name, and folded the scrap. "That stays with the incident file." "It is part of a private letter. It was found at the scene. The sign where your daughter struck me." No one moved. Martin pushed the door closed. The corridor was pale green beneath a humming fluorescent tube. Cold air leaked from the rear exit. Elias walked between the officers, his shoes clicking over flour-dusted tile. Near the storage room, Mercer touched his elbow. Elias stopped. "Remove your hand." Mercer did, but only after Rowan looked at it. "You people always think paperwork protects you," Mercer said. "Paperwork protects everyone when stories change." A metal cart rolled past. Hart stepped aside. Elias's watch chain caught against his jacket. The silver watch slipped free. It struck the tile, bounced once, and skidded beneath a shelf. The ticking stopped. Elias bent. "Stay upright," Mercer ordered. That belonged to my mother. Rowan crouched first, retrieved the watch, and wiped flour from the cracked glass. Captain, he's not resisting. Mercer's jaw tightened. Rowan placed the watch in Elias's hand. Thank you. Hart opened a rear office. Inside stood one metal chair, a desk with a dead monitor, and a vent rattling above stained tiles. You'll wait here, she said. For how long? Until the chief decides. That answer should concern you. Mercer set Elias's phone on the desk, screen down, then slid it into a drawer. You don't touch that without a warrant, Elias said. Mercer closed the drawer. Tonight, you don't set the rules. Elias sat and laid the stopped watch across his palm. Outside, Martin said, Get his documents, all of them. Then Devon's voice rose from the kitchen. They're gone. What's gone? Martin demanded outside the office. The invitation, his license, his business card, Devon said. They were on table 1. Mercer opened the door. Stay seated. The room smelled of old coffee. Elias held the stopped watch and listened to shoes crossing the kitchen tile. I saw Devon collect them, Hannah said. And then? Martin asked. I set them beside the register. They were gone when I returned, Devon said. Martin's voice hardened. Then you misplaced evidence. They weren't evidence until you decided they were. Mercer shut the door. Through the thin wall, Martin began dictating. Subject became verbally aggressive after being asked to leave. Subject reached toward Ms. Vale. Officers intervened. Elias looked at Hart. You saw what happened. I'm not writing the report, but you'll be named in it. Her jaw tightened. Rowan remained near the door, his body camera blinking red. Mercer leaned over the desk. Admit you caused a disturbance, leave quietly, and this ends tonight. At 8:17? Elias asked. What? He opened his palm. The watch hands had stopped at that minute. That is when you removed me without stating an offense. You think a watch makes you untouchable? No, it makes your timeline harder to edit. Outside, Martin continued. Ms. Vale attempted to calm him. The subject refused lawful instructions. Rowan glanced at Hart. That isn't what happened. Mercer turned. Officer? He asked whether he was detained. Nobody answered. You're confused. No, sir. The vent rattled. In the kitchen, a timer chirped until someone struck it silent. Martin entered carrying Elias's phone. Unlock it. No. We need to know who you contacted. You need a warrant. Martin set the phone on the desk, but kept 2 fingers on it. The screen lit. Amara. I waited. You chose work again. A photograph showed Amara beside her mother. Elias's thumb moved toward the message. Martin pulled the phone back. 5 seconds, Elias said. No. My daughter is waiting. That is not my concern. The screen dimmed. Elias reached once, slowly, but Mercer stepped between them. Please, Elias said. It was the first word he had given them, without an edge. Hart looked away. The screen went black on the word again. Elias saw his reflection in the dark glass. One cheek marked by the slap, collar damp from spilled water, silver hair bright beneath the ceiling lamp. He lowered his hand. Martin studied him, expecting anger. Elias gave him none. Put the phone in property, Martin ordered. Hart did not move. Officer Hart. She took it. Before placing it in the drawer, she pressed the side button. The lock screen returned for one breath. Elias read the time. 8:24. Thank you, he said. She closed the drawer. Rowan shifted toward Mercer. Chief, his identification disappearing changes this. It changes nothing. Someone removed documents after we asked for them. Then write that they were unavailable. That's not the same thing. Mercer stepped between them. Enough. Lauren's voice came from the hallway. Dad, why is the state calling you? Martin looked at Rowan's blinking camera. Turn that off. Rowan's hand rose, then stopped an inch from the button. Rowan's hand remained beside the body camera switch. No, he said. Martin stared at him. What did you say? I said no, sir. Not without a documented reason. Red indicator kept blinking. The vent shuddered above Elias's chair. Martin stepped close enough for Rowan to smell cinnamon on his breath. You are relieved from this detail. Then say it on camera. Mercer moved between them. Caleb, walk away. Rowan unclipped nothing. I'll wait for written instruction. From the corridor, Lauren said, Dad, answer me. Why is the state calling? Martin turned toward her, and Elias knew the phrase had worked. 6 minutes earlier, before Mercer took the phone, Elias had managed one call. Naomi Reed answered immediately. Status. They've moved me to a back office. Are you safe? For now. Do I send counsel? Elias looked through the doorway at Martin speaking to Mercer. Open the Miriam archive. Naomi went quiet for half a second. Confirm. Open it. Then Mercer had reached for the phone. 3 miles away, Naomi sat beneath the white light of Grant Meridian's compliance room. At 48, she wore her silver-streaked hair in a tight knot and tapped a pen against a folder marked Ashford Municipal Review. Release Package 1, she told the analyst. A progress bar crossed the central monitor. State Integrity Office? First. Independent Counsel? Second. Press escrow. Hold. Gray boxes waited in a vertical line. Naomi folded her hand so no one saw the tremor in her right thumb. The first box turned green. Package received. Then the second. Preservation mirror active. A third confirmation appeared from Clara Wynne, 50, Director of the State Office of Public Integrity, who removed her glasses before asking the question that mattered. Clara called. Is Grant being detained? We don't have a lawful basis from the city, Naomi said. Then preserve the restaurant footage before midnight. We're moving. What's in Package 2? Payments from redevelopment vendors to Vail Civic Strategies, routed through 3 security subcontractors. Amounts? $846,000 over 4 years. And the chief? His special detail office approved every vendor. Clara removed her glasses. Send the signatures. Back at Bellwether House, Martin's phone vibrated again. He answered. Chief Vail, Clara said through the speaker. Do not alter, remove, or instruct anyone to destroy municipal records. Martin lowered the volume. You have no jurisdiction over a private dinner. I have jurisdiction over the records your office tried to access at 7:52 p.m. Lauren's face lost its color. What records? She whispered. Martin turned away. This is a misunderstanding. Clara's reply stayed calm. Then preserve everything and let the facts misunderstand you in public. The line ended. Hart opened the desk drawer and returned Elias's phone without being asked. Naomi had sent one message. 3 green. Package 2 reveals payments to Lauren's firm. Elias locked the screen and placed the stopped watch beside it. Outside, every radio crackled at once. State investigators entering through the front. Lauren looked at her father. You used my company for what? You used my company for what? Lauren asked. Martin's answer vanished as the front doors opened. Clara Wynne entered with 2 state investigators carrying sealed cases. Gray at the temples, she wore reading glasses on a black cord. Nobody touches a device, she said. Nobody leaves with paper. Captain Mercer moved toward the kitchen. Rowan blocked him. Where are you going? To secure the building. The footage? Move. Rowan did not. His body camera kept blinking. Devon slid a memory card from the recorder beneath a towel. Hannah saw it. "Did you copy everything?" she whispered. "Before they changed the password. Give it to me. You told me not to speak. I was wrong." She carried the card to Clara. "Dinner room export. Another camera covers the corridor." Mercer turned. "That belongs to the local investigation." Clara opened an evidence sleeve. "Not anymore." Devon dropped the card inside. Hart returned Elias's invitation and business card. His license was still missing. "I found these behind the register." "Who moved them?" "I don't know." "Then don't guess." Rowan entered, unclipped his camera, and removed the storage module. "Department property," Mercer said. "So is what it recorded." Rowan gave it to Clara. Martin laughed softly. "You're ending your career over a dinner dispute." Rowan glanced at Elias's stopped watch. "No, sir. I'm deciding what kind of career I had." Hannah returned with a dented blue cash box. Inside were years of invoices bound by rubber bands. "What are those?" Lauren asked. "Payments I was told were voluntary," Hannah said. "Security assessments, inspection fees." Mercer reached for the top bundle. Clara shut the lid before he touched it. Hannah removed one invoice. "Every time I questioned these, an inspection followed. Fire capacity, sidewalk permit, music license." "You never complained," Martin said. "I did." She pulled a faded copy from the bottom. A deep crease divided the page. She pressed it flat, but the center rose again. "Your office stamped it received." Clara read the date. October 14th, 2006. Elias's fingers tightened around the silver watch. "May I see the names?" Clara turned the sheet. Hannah Price was first. Miriam Grant was second. Hannah kept smoothing the fold. "Your mother came with me," she said. "I left before we reached the desk. An officer said my restaurant would be closed by morning." Elias said nothing. "Miriam stayed. I watched through the glass, then told myself she was braver because she had less to lose." "What happened after?" Clara asked. "Her laundry was inspected 11 times in 6 months." Lauren looked at Martin. "You said those files never existed." "Old complaints prove nothing." Clara placed the invoice beside the recovered digital index. The numbers matched. "They prove someone lied about destroying them." Beyond the office, guests clustered behind the dining room doors as phones filled with alerts. A request from journalist Nora King appeared on Clara's screen, followed by an emergency notice from the City Council. Public hearing, 9 a.m. Clara looked at Elias. "Bring the original complaint your mother kept." He closed the stopped watch around his palm. "I already did." At 8:58 the next morning, Elias placed the cream envelope beneath the council chamber microphone. The room smelled of wet coats and burnt coffee. Every seat was filled. Martin Vale sat at the witness table, his badge absent for the first time in 30 years. Council Chairman Silas Kent struck the gavel. "This emergency session concerns the municipal archive, vendor contracts, and last night's incident." Martin leaned toward his attorney. "A billionaire's publicity stunt." Elias did not turn. Nora King, 42, stood near the aisle with a recorder and yellow notebook. A silver streak cut through her dark curls. "Mr. Grant," Kent said, "did you fund this audit because of a business dispute?" "No." "Because your company opposed redevelopment?" "No." "Then why?" Elias opened the envelope. The paper was thin at the folds. Miriam Grant's handwriting crossed the top in blue ink. October 14th, 2006. He placed the complaint beside the silver watch. My mother filed this after city officials demanded payments from small businesses for protection they never requested. Martin shook his head. A 20-year-old accusation from a deceased woman cannot be authenticated. Clara Wynne stood. The intake number matches the recovered index. The ink, stamp, and clerk notation match the archived scan. Elias touched the cracked watch glass. My mother cleaned this chamber at night, he said. She washed cups left beneath those desks. She opened her laundry before sunrise and closed after dark. When she refused to pay, inspections came until the business failed. Martin raised his voice. And now her son wants revenge. Elias looked at him. If I wanted revenge, I would have bought the block and erased your name from it. I funded an audit because my mother wrote one sentence at the bottom. He turned the page toward the council. If they can do this to me quietly, they can do it to everyone. Hannah lowered her eyes. Devon stood behind her with the dinner guest list, its damp corner still marked by his thumb. Kent asked, Chief Vale, why was this complaint marked destroyed? I did not control records then. Clara placed a digital log on the screen. Your credentials accessed the file 6 times between 2006 and 2008. Last month, your office tried to delete the mirrored index. Martin's attorney whispered, Do not answer. Nora lifted her recorder. Chief Vale, did you know Miriam Grant's name before last night? Martin stared at the watch. That was enough. Lauren sat in the second row, pale and rigid. He knew, she said. Her father turned. Lauren, you told me the Grant file was old political noise. Be quiet. She stood. One pearl earring was missing. You used my firm to move the payments, didn't you? The chamber erupted. Kent struck the gavel. Clara raised one hand. The witness will be heard. Lauren looked at Elias, but he offered neither rescue nor accusation. I have the password, she said. There's another archive. Martin's chair scraped backward. Nora's recorder caught the sound. Elias closed the watch and placed it over his mother's signature. For the first time in 20 years, Miriam Grant's complaint entered the public record under the correct name. Lauren remained standing while the chamber settled around her. Password to what? Clara asked. A private archive. My father said it was for emergency contracts. Martin leaned in. Sit down. She looked at him. Did you use my company? Not here. That means yes. Rain tapped the windows. A paper cup folded in someone's hand. Clara slid a tablet across the table. These transfers entered Vale Civic Strategies, then moved to 3 security vendors. Your digital approval appears on all of them. Lauren stared at the screen. I never signed these. Your certificate did. My father had access. Martin ignored his attorney. You benefited from those contracts. You told me the city required the structure. And you accepted the money. I accepted contracts you said were legal. Clara opened another file. This authorization was submitted while you were in Denver. I was at a conference. Flight records confirm it. Martin turned to the council. Metadata can be altered. Rowan stepped from the wall. The restaurant recording has original timestamps. Clara played the corridor audio. Martin's voice filled the chamber. Get his documents, all of them. Then Mercer's. We can make the report fit. No one moved. Lauren sat slowly. One pearl earring lay beside her hand. The other side of her face looked unfinished. That proves nothing about my firm, Martin said. Clara opened a message thread. Martin Vale. Delete the Grant index. Lauren Vale. I don't have archive access. Martin Vale. Use the credential I gave you. Lauren Vale. Why? Martin Vale. Because I am asking once. Lauren stopped reading. That wasn't about contracts. You misunderstood. There are dozens of these. You made me delete complaints. I protected you from political messes you were too inexperienced to understand. Lauren scrolled. Her thumb shook. One message showed Miriam Grant's intake number. She covered her mouth. Elias stood beside the aisle, the silver watch closed in his palm. I saw her name, Lauren said. 3 years ago. He told me it was a duplicate. Elias answered quietly. And you deleted it. Yes. Martin pushed back from the table. My daughter is distressed. Recess this session. Clara stepped between him and the exit. Sit down, Chief. I am still Chief. Not in this room. Silas Kent struck the gavel. Remain seated. Lauren removed the other earring and placed it beside the first. There's another server, she said. It's under a shell account called North Lantern. Martin's face emptied. Lauren, he said softly, think carefully. I am. You open that archive, you destroy this family. She looked at the earrings, then at Miriam's complaint beneath Elias's hand. No, you did that when you taught me silence was loyalty. Clara placed a keyboard before her. Lauren typed 8 characters, erased them, and began again. On the second attempt, the screen changed. Access granted. Folders appeared by year, marked with names, payments, and complaint numbers. The oldest was labeled M. Grant. Lauren lifted her hands. I'll give a full statement. Martin did not look at her. Clara opened the folder, and 20 years of hidden signatures began loading onto the public screen. M. Grant contained inspection schedules, internal messages, and a ledger labeled Community Security. Clara advanced through the pages. Hannah gripped her chair. Those are restaurants. And laundries, Devon said. And repair shops, Nora added. Each business had received repeated inspections after refusing a fee. Beside several names appeared the same initials. O.M. Captain Mercer stood against the wall. Clara faced him. Owen Mercer? He rubbed his wedding ring. Those could belong to anyone. Rowan stepped closer. Your badge number is attached. Martin spoke without looking up. Do not answer. A report from 2019 showed a complaint rewritten as a licensing dispute. Another had 3 witness statements removed. Clara asked, Who ordered these changes? My attorney isn't here. You can preserve the truth before someone else defines your role. Martin's chair creaked. She is threatening you. No, Mercer said. You've done enough of that. Mercer removed a folded card from his wallet. Names and badge numbers covered both sides. These officers handled the special details, he said. Some knew. Some followed orders. 2 objected and were transferred. You kept a list? Clara asked. I kept insurance. You kept leverage, Rowan said. Mercer lowered his eyes. Yes. By noon, the council voted to suspend Martin immediately. Silas Kent read the motion while city attorneys sealed the chief's office. Martin stood. You cannot erase 30 years of service in one morning. Elias closed his mother's complaint. No one is erasing it. Martin looked at him. They're reading it. In the administration hallway, a maintenance worker loosened 2 screws from the brass plate on Martin's door. It came away with a faint scrape, leaving a pale rectangle in the dark wood. Martin watched as an investigator sealed the plate inside an evidence box. Lauren arrived carrying a banker's carton. My contracts were canceled, she said. Clara answered, All city agreements with your firm are frozen. I expected that. Cooperation does not guarantee immunity. I know. She held out a drive. This has the approval logs and my father's messages. Lauren, Martin called. She did not turn. You leave with them. You are finished. Her fingers tightened beneath the box. I was finished before I understood what you made me part of." She followed Clara into the interview room. Outside City Hall, cameras crowded the steps. Nora asked Elias whether he felt vindicated. He glanced at the stopped watch. A technician had offered to repair it, but Elias wanted Amara to see it as Miriam left it. "This is not finished," he said. "Will you attend the reopening ceremony? If there is one. Will your daughter be there?" His phone vibrated. "Amara, I saw the hearing. I'm glad Grandma's name is clear. I'm not ready to stand beside you for cameras." Elias read it twice. Wind lifted the corner of Miriam's complaint. Nora lowered her recorder. "Do you need a minute?" "No." He stepped away and typed, "I understand. No cameras. No excuses." "The door will be open." The message showed delivered, not read. Behind him, the evidence box carrying Martin Vale's nameplate passed through the doors. At 9:06 the following Monday, a worker peeled protective paper from the center's glass doors. Morning light crossed the dusty floor and stopped at Elias's shoes. Silas Kent stood beside a table covered with draft ordinances. "The city is prepared to offer you a settlement." "For what?" "The detention and public damage." Elias turned the stopped silver watch in his palm. "Use it for the businesses whose complaints were buried." "That would be simpler." "That is why I'm declining it." Clara Wynne opened a folder. "Mr. Grant proposes an independent recovery fund for illegal fees, legal costs, and forced closures." "How much?" Hannah asked. "Whatever the recovered contracts produce," Elias said. "My company will fund the first year, but it will not control a claim." Kent frowned. "You're asking the council to surrender authority." "No. I'm asking you to stop judging complaints against yourselves." A glass panel clicked into its frame. Dr. Lena Ford entered with a canvas folder. 46 and broad-shouldered, she had spent 15 years auditing public agencies. "I'll chair the civilian board only if its votes are public, and police cannot choose its members." Lena placed 7 pages before Kent. The council ignored the first complaint 20 years ago. By noon, the ordinances had been rewritten. Contracts involving relatives of department heads would require outside review. Body camera files would copy automatically to an independent server. Complaints could not be deleted by one office, and every case number would enter a public registry within 48 hours. Rowan read the body camera clause. "What if equipment fails?" "Automatic notice to the board," Lena said. "And if an officer refuses to activate it. A review outside that officer's command." Hart nodded. "Keep that." Kent tapped the final page. "Training?" "Real complaints," Elias said. "Names removed. Decisions reviewed." A carpenter carried in a plaque engraved Miriam Grant Community Center. "Please stop," Elias said. The carpenter froze. "Is the spelling wrong?" "No." Kent joined them. The council approved the name unanimously. "My mother did not file that complaint to put our family above the door. She deserves recognition. She deserves the door to work." Elias removed the cream envelope from his jacket. Clear tape covered the torn corner. He unfolded Miriam's letter and pointed to one sentence. The door should open for everyone. Lena read it. "Put that on the glass." Kent hesitated. "Without her name?" "Her story will be inside," Elias said. "The promise belongs outside." That afternoon, Hannah signed the first claim form. Thomas Bell signed the second. Others waited near the boiler room, with receipts and letters. Elias held the door as they entered. Clara stopped beside him. "This does not repair what happened." "No. Or what you missed with Amara." His fingers tightened around the watch. "No." The worker pressed the words onto the glass and pulled away the backing. Sunlight passed through the letters and laid them across the floor. The door should open for everyone. Elias's phone vibrated. Amara. Is it open yet? He typed. The door is open. This time, the message showed red. 9 months later, rain ticked against the glass doors of the Miriam Grant Community Center. Hannah Price arrived carrying the dented blue cash box that held invoices once used to frighten her into silence. She placed them beneath a notice explaining how residents could file complaints directly with the independent board. "Leave the crease," Elias said when she tried to flatten the oldest page. Hannah touched the fold through Miriam's name. People should see what waiting does to paper. Devon checked microphones for shop owners and former employees. He now managed the center's evening programs. Officer Hart, reassigned to training, sat beside Rowan, whose preserved body camera recording had become part of the city's ethics course. Behind them, the new rules were posted. Every complaint received a public tracking number, camera files copied automatically to an outside server, and contracts involving senior officials' relatives required independent review. Dr. Lena Ford opened the meeting. "The first quarterly report is available tonight," she said. 43 old complaints restored, 11 businesses reimbursed, 7 disciplinary reviews completed. Across town, Martin Vale awaited trial for contract fraud, records interference, and misuse of office. His pension remained under review. Owen Mercer had accepted a reduced charge for his testimony and was barred from supervisory police work. Lauren Vale lost every municipal contract, surrendered illicit profits, and continued cooperating. Her written apology to Elias had arrived 3 weeks earlier. He placed it beside Miriam's complaint without answering. At 7:42, the lights dimmed. Amara entered through the side door carrying a projector case. Elias noticed her only when Devon whispered. She came. She wore her mother's brown scarf and avoided the cameras. Without an introduction, she connected her laptop. "This film is called The Door Stayed Open," she said. "It is not about a billionaire. It is about a woman who kept a copy." The screen filled with photographs of Miriam laughing behind the counter of her laundry. Then came Hannah's testimony, Rowan's recording, and the pale rectangle left after Martin's nameplate was removed. Elias watched from the back wall. In the final scene, Amara's camera faced the entrance as adults crossed through Miriam's words. The door should open for everyone. When the lights returned, no one spoke at first. Amara found Elias beside the old boiler room door. "You missed 9 o'clock, she said. "I know. You always know afterward." He accepted that. "I am trying to arrive before afterward." She opened her palm. The repaired silver watch lay across it, its cracked glass preserved beneath a new rim. "The repairman wanted to replace the face," she said. "I told him no." Together, they wound the crown. The mechanism resisted, clicked, then began to move. "I can't give you back those years," Elias said. "No. But I can stop asking you to pretend they cost nothing." Amara closed his fingers around the watch. Then she took Miriam's envelope and sat with him on the front steps to read it. Inside, volunteers stacked chairs. Hannah locked the cash box beneath the complaint desk. Rowan held the glass door for the last shop owner leaving in the rain. The second hand completed its first full circle. The door remained open. Have you ever watched someone's dignity dismissed while everyone else stayed quiet? Share your experience in the comments, especially if one person's decision to speak up changed what happened next. Send this story to someone who believes justice should protect ordinary people, not just the powerful, and that accountability matters most when it changes the rules for everyone. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, hidden truth, and the people who turn painful moments into lasting reform. Your voice helps these stories reach viewers who may need the courage to document what happened, support a witness, or keep a copy when someone tells them the record no longer exists.